What's up with y'all? It's your boy OMD-300, and this is the Corner Store Podcast. Welcome to the pod. I probably won't have anybody pop in unless somebody's checking YouTube or something like that, because I did not send out any invites or anything like that. I'm getting to a point where if I'm gonna do a pod, I might as well just drop it and do what I do and see y'all later. I'd love for y'all to be on the live, but I'm gonna start doing a lot of pre-edited stuff or videos ahead of it. I love the lives, but just not getting the engagement because it's kind of hard to time up to let people know when the pod is gonna be. Even when I had it scheduled for a certain time, a lot of times some people would show up, some people wouldn't. It is what it is on that. But loyalty to this show has been amazing. Oh, somebody's on right now. Thank you for stopping into the Corner Store Podcast. It is your boy OMD. It's October the fucking 17th. And it is a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Monday Night Football was last night. That game was trash. I am a Cowboy fan, but I am not feeling them Nuggets. With that said, thank you for coming to the podcast. I appreciate it. I had to get a sip of water. This is episode 79, by the way. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And the first topic I really want to jump into is Jada Pinkett. I'm not going to call her Jada Pinkett Smith. Shout out to Bug Assault. This is the shredder, Bug Assault shredder gun. And it hasn't been any pests I had to really been able to use this motherfucker on because it's been cooling down some. It's supposed to be hot out here in the V today. I think it's gonna get up to like 91, but so far it's only in the 70s right now. So that's why I'm in my studio. But normally when I'm in my studio, man, I get a lot of flies and shit. And I hadn't broke this out yet. I worked for Bug Assault, and I had did a couple of advertisements, commercials for them. And shout out to Bug Assault, man. I love y'all. Shout out. Bug Assault is a great company. Please go to Bug Assault. Hey, what's good with it, Pam King? How you doing? Go to Bug Assault, and they're on YouTube, they're on Instagram. You can go to Bug Assault. You'll see on the Instagram, you'll see the commercials that I did for them, and also instructional videos on how to put the laser beam on there and all that. So I've worked with them. Shout out to Bug Assault. The company's great. Shout out to the owners, wonderful people who got a chance to meet them, hang out with them. So it was a real honor. So, just to let you know that it'll work and shit. That motherfucker loud too. This shredder has compressed air in the handle that'll shoot the salt. They give you these sharp, these are some of the salt things in here, and you kill a bug. I'm telling you, a wasp, a beetle, all kind of shit I've shot up with this motherfucker. It shit work good. So shout out to Bug Assault. Jada Pinkett. Look, I'm a reasonable person. I'm reasonable. I really believe I am. I've gotten, by the grace of God, it's gotten to be 57 years old. 57 years old as of this year, September. So Virgo stand up. And for the life of me, I don't understand that relationship those two people have, meaning Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. I don't understand that relationship. Are we supposed to? No. Should we really care? No. The only reason why we're talking about them is because they're in the public eye and they're living their lives out loud, and we have to sit there and look at it. I just so happened to see an Instagram post of Amanda Seales. She's a comedian. Man, I love Amanda Seales for the simple fact that woman keeps it 100. She comes on there not with no makeup on, her hair nappy. She keeps it. She's a beautiful woman. Now, obviously, when she does her shows and everything, she's gonna be dolled up, or if she's on TV or whatever, she's gonna do her thing. But she's a beautiful woman without no makeup on. Shout out to Sonya, my girlfriend. No disrespect to you, babe. I'm just keep it 100. Amanda Seales is a good looking lady, and she's regular, naturally beautiful, just like my woman Sonya is. That's what I love about both of them. They don't even have to wear makeup to look good or nothing. But I only brought her up to say that she was on Instagram and she basically made an outcry to Jada. Please Please stop letting us know about y'all relationship. At this point, it's like overkill. I don't know if you're trying to do this shit on purpose or what. We don't fucking care. Now, mind you, she's got a book coming out. So she's on a book tour right now, and she's doing everything in her power within her means, talking about her relationship with Pac and that he wanted to marry her and all these things. How she visited him at Rikers and he proposed. And, you know, to be honest with you, Jada, I don't give a fuck. Not that we don't like you, nothing. I think it is a damn shame that you was in a relationship with a powerful cat like this dude, but he's only powerful in money and influence. Will Smith is soft. And I will tell you, Will Smith, I hope you see this. I don't remember years ago, my bro, we played basketball against each other at a park near Hanna-Barbera Studios in Burbank. Man, it had to be when you was on, I don't know how many seasons you was in. I forget the year, but I know it was in the 90s. I was living in North Hollywood at the time. Used to go to a friend of mine's shop. He had like an African store on Magnolia. On Lancashire and Magnolia. The cross street was Magnolia. And we would go play basketball at different parks out here in the valley. So at that time, we went to that particular one. I didn't even know nothing about that park. But I went with them there and we balled. And y'all showed up. Charlie Mack, your bouncer, and a few other people. And y'all hooped with us. And they was a bunch of yes men. Everything, you miss a layup and they would cheer. I'll never forget that. And I just thought you was arrogant, man. I think it's, you know, when you that young and you get that successful, and I'm pretty sure you had your hurdles. You and Jazzy Jeff had y'all hurdles to jump over in order to get where you needed to be or whatnot. But, you know, you met with Benny Medina. Next thing you know, it's the script and the Will, you know, and the Fresh Prince. And then the first movie was 6 Degrees of Separation, which I think you probably shouldn't have took. I don't know. Being an actor is cool, man. But I don't know if that would have been my first project, to be real with you. It was pretty deep. You know, Donald Sutherland, and I think I know the lady's name. She has the actress that played the mother in that. I know her name. I just can't think of it. But yeah, man, I mean, I ain't even tripping off the fact that it was a lot of homosexual shit going on in there. But why that particular role to be the first role? That's my question. Because you could have been Independence Day could have been the first one, but I know nobody wasn't really, checking for you at the time. So anything of substance, I guess you felt like it was artsy. I had a possibility of maybe getting an Oscar nod early on in your career. So he's like, fuck it, I'll go do that shit. I feel you, bro. I feel you. Oh, it's Pam King talking about our boys almost lost, but a win is a win. Come on, Pam. Come on, Pam. You can't feel that way, man. I know that was an ugly win. Dak threw a couple of cool. See, Dak Prescott pisses me off because he has the potential to be an all-pro every year, 30 touchdowns, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 interceptions. And it ain't even really about the stats more than it is during the important times in the game. Don't turn that motherfucker over. Run that bitch or something. If ain't nothing there, just take the fuck off. You big as hell. So the Dallas Cowboys defense, for years we sucked at D, and now we got a D that kind of can take the ball away and stop motherfuckers and shit. And we on offense, we still suspect. That shit is crazy. $billion ass team, and we suspect all these high dollar players and everything. We need to get our shit together. Fuck that, a win is a win shit. You know what I'm saying? I want him to become steadfast at the QB. You can't be asking for $30, $40 million a year and you fucking regular and average. You can't do it. How you letting Jared Goff for the Detroit Lions play better than you? Jared Goff? Come on, man. Jared Goff, man. Jared, I love you, man. You went to the Super Bowl and everything. So I should give you more respect. But you had a hella defense when you played for the Rams. Now you got a hella defense in Detroit and a hella offensive line. So you better be back there pocket passing and throwing darts like a motherfucker. You're supposed to. If you're supposed to be a number one, you was a number one bet. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to have did what what's the boy who played for Cincinnati? You supposed to have did what he did. That nigga was in the league 2 years and he went to the bowl. Well, you kind of did that too, to be honest with you. So, but Dak Prescott, I don't know. But see, Dak, you wasn't supposed to be highly. You was great at Mississippi State or wherever you came from. But you know what I'm saying? Nobody wasn't checking for you when you came out of college. You get this opportunity. You got to blow that shit out the water, bro. You got to win, baby. Let me get back to Jada Pinkett. I don't know. She's 5'5". And I didn't know they stacked weirdo that high. Stop, man. You look like one of them witch priestesses bitches that be just fucking with men's psyches and shit and try to take their soul. Is that what you did to that boy? Did you take his fucking soul? Did you Insidious or Annabelle his ass? Let that boy go, man. He the breadwinner and everything. You over here trying to sell a goddamn book. You must be broke or something. Fuck that book. Your book, it's gonna be a bestseller because motherfuckers want to see that shit. Want to see, because you know damn well in that book you talking down on that boy. You are on his ass. You know you on that boy, man. That's so sad. This nigga Will doing all this adventurous shit, trying to be like Tom Cruise, jumping off helicopters, going hang out with Bear Grylls and shit, and doing all these crazy things. Very, very Caucasian ass things. You ain't gonna catch me on no fucking safari. I don't give a fuck how much money I get. I'll go to Africa and go to the city. That's where I'm going. I'm going to go to Africa and go to whatever major city is in that fucking country. I ain't going to no damn bush. What the fuck I'm gonna go to the bush for? If a meteor hit Earth and we clouded with dust and the sky's darkened and there's no power no more, then I'll go native. I'll go native then. I'll go into the fucking mountains, fight bears and everything. Until that happens, running water and all that shit is on, that's where I'm at. Fuck all that, man. You know what I'm saying? People crazy and shit. Going out there doing all these adventurous things. It's good to know that stuff. I was in the military. I know how to do a lot of things in the woods. So I ain't worried about that part. I'm going to enjoy the conveniences and the comforts of fucking civilization until the world about to collapse or something. Until then, I don't want to hear about no going on no Mountain Everest and none of that stupid shit. I try to stay physically fit as you can, even though I'm actually lost weight. I done got thin. Look at me. I was big. I done got thinner and everything, thank God. So leave that man alone, Jada. Divorce him. If you said y'all was separated, go on set the fucking rate. Let this nigga go with Margot Robbie or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Let him get with a chick gonna rub his feet and shit and treat him like, a man he's supposed to be treated. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You could tell that house weird because Willow is weird. Your boy, your son is weird. This nigga out here talking about he love. What's that rapper name? Tyler, the Creator. You tell Tyler, the Creator's my boyfriend. What? Nigga, I don't care about you being gay, bro. If you gay, but shut the fuck up, man. Weird ass family, man. Talented though, you know what I'm saying, but weird. I'm gonna get off of her because I could do this all day when it comes to Jada. I'm just keep it real with you. I always thought you was weird. Pretty as fuck. Them eyes tell the story. When she was young, look at her on Jason Lyric and shit, and how she was looking at Jason with them eyes. That girl is something about that girl. Something about her, man. She's supposed to be from Oakland or DC. I don't even fucking know. I don't know what part of the fucking world she really from. And then her mama looks just like her. I'm glad that red table shit is gone. And it's only gone because she wanted it gone. I think it got canceled. I don't know. If she really wanted that shit to come back, she can find another network. So I fuck around and better be quiet before she hear this shit and be like, I'm going to bring that back just because he said that. I don't want to read the book. I don't want to see you dog Will. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear about your movies coming out. I don't want nothing. Hawthorne failed. All that shit you was on failed. That man is carrying you. Keep it a band. And if he was to come to you talking about he wanted to divorce you, you probably want half his shit because you know you ain't doing nothing else in the rest of your life. If I know him to get away from you, he'll give you all you wanted. What you want the house? Take that shit. If you want them cars, take them cars. You want to take that too then. Fuck it, as long as I'm rid of your ass. That's what I do, because you be getting on my motherfucking nerve. Anyway, Jada Pinkett, good luck to you, man. God bless. And hopefully that man get from under your Svengali ass spell you done put on him. Now, the subject of the day that's all over the news, very touchy ass subject, is, the war going on in the Middle East. I'm gonna touch on this one more time, even though the last couple of pods I've kind of touched on it and talked about it. People have been asking me, will this lead to World War III? It has a chance to. Heightened tensions in Iran, heightened tensions in Russia, heightened tensions in Turkey, come to think of it. The Muslim countries are turning over and they, boxer shorts behind what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians who happen to be Muslim. So this could become something if they really want to push the line, to be honest with you. And you got not one, but you got two fucking, I had read, shout out to the newsmakers out there who know exactly what sea the West Bank is on, because my stupid ass had reported that it was the Red Sea, and that's not the Red Sea, it's the fucking Mediterranean. I had no fucking clue that was the Mediterranean. I could have swore it was something like that, but it's the Mediterranean. There are two U.S. carriers now. One of them is the Eisenhower, if I'm not mistaken. I forget what the other one was, that are in the region. And you know why they're in the region? They're not in the region because Israel needs help against Hamas or the Palestinian people, because that don't even make no sense. What would you need? They're there to deter those same countries I just spoke of from getting involved in the conflict. The United States is just as complicit as the Israeli government is complicit for genocide against the Palestinian people. There should have been a manual occupation, meaning there should have been foot soldiers on the ground. They should have sent Israeli troops into the West Bank instead of just shooting missiles and raining it down. They're killing innocent people. And it's absolutely a travesty of justice. It's a humanitarian crisis. Now, did Hamas come to the festival, the music festival in the neighborhoods? And I don't know who Hamas is. From what I understand, the Israeli government funded Hamas. That's out there. I'm not making none of this shit up. Meaning they're the ones that started this all. Meaning the Israeli government created Hamas to be a terrorist organization to kill and terrorize their own people, to rally them against the Palestinians. If that's fucking true, if that is true, the Netanyahu and anybody else that's in the Israeli government need to be hung. And I say that again, they need to be hung, because I'm gonna tell you right now. Now, somebody Jewish will see this podcast and say I'm crazy and I'm anti-Semitic. No, I'm none of those things. If my skin is brown and I'm from Africa, I'm very Semitic. I have no reason to talk bad about anybody. I don't, from what I understand, 6 million Jews was put through the gas chambers in World War II Nazi Germany. That is the most horrific fucking shit you could actually ever hear about. And from what I understand, after World War II, the Israeli people had nowhere to go. There was no country in Europe that would take them. So what did the United Nations do? They gave them Palestinian land against the Palestinian government back in 1948, against their wishes. And they forced them to give them land, and just more and more Jews started to come there. And they just straight took the land and said it's our homeland and changed it from Palestine to Israel. And that's not fair, man. That's not fair. That's like all perfect example. All of these people that are coming to the US from the southern border and all these borders that are getting in and getting dropped off on the lawns of senators and stuff like that. You know, from what I understand, the right don't like the fact that all of these people are getting into our country. So the same thing could be said about when they forced the Jewish people, the Zionistic European Jews, on the Palestinians. They didn't like that shit either. And before you know it, before you could shake a stick at a dog, they had taken over that country and forced those people into a small, what? I don't know how big the West Bank area is where the Palestinians live, but it's fucking small as shit. And you got 6 million, from what I understand. It might be 2 million, but it's supposedly 6 million people in that small area, and that's just fucking, that's ridiculous. Why is nobody saying nothing about this for all these years? They have been saying stuff, but guess what? We haven't been listening. The American government the American people, the American citizenship, they keep us fucking working so hard and dealing with everyday bullshit that they out there doing shit like this and bringing people to their death for money. If you don't think this is about money, because every war that's ever been fought, even the war of World War II, that glorious war, we always bring up as a rallying cry for this country. I'm ex-military. Don't you dare think that I'm fucking against America. I'm for what America stands for. The forefathers they always bring up, and all of the glorious declarations and the Bill of Rights and all these things that are written that supposedly give a man a right to live and be free and have his own here. I'm for all that, but I'm not for the bullshit that fuckers are pulling behind all of that paperwork. For all of the things that's been written for American citizens to prosper, they do everything in their power to take away your ability to prosper. Whites too. All of you white people out there that hate black people and they say, oh, well, you know, if it wasn't for them, you'd have money. If it wasn't for them lazy blacks and they're killing it. We're not doing shit to nobody. We trying to live too. We struggling our ass off. We're in competition with you, and this is the type of situation it is for black people in this country. You give a white person the baton and you say, bang, go, and then you let them run first. They get a 10, 20 fucking feet head start in the race. That's how it works for us. And yes, a lot of this shit is systemic, the way things are here. But you know, one thing about black people, we don't cry about that shit. Most black people put their head down and they go to work and they pay their bills and they try to do right. But then there's all kind of shit that's against us. To not fair, like if you own a home, if you're black and you get it fixed up, they don't give you fair market value. When the appraiser comes and they happen to be white and see that you're a black person, they'll underappraise your house. It's already been proven that kind of shit going on. That's systematic racism right there. That's the shit we're talking about. You can't drive nowhere. There's sundown cities still in the United States. You know what? Rich people play on poor people's prejudices. They do. They play on your prejudice. When Obama was in office, now remember, Obamacare wasn't even something he truly came up with. This was something that Jimmy Carter had came up with when he was president. All they did was adopt his ideals. So they called it Obamacare, and just because it was supposedly him that came up with it, which he didn't, they said they hated it. I don't like this, Obama. I don't want that shit. They will work against their own good interests. They will. You'll be so prejudiced, you'll work against having free medical care and being able to choose your own doctor and go to that doctor and die because you don't like the skin color of somebody. It's sick. And I can prove that this stuff is real. There was a Jeffersons episode. I bring this up on my pod quite often. You can go look for it. Back in the day on the Jeffersons, a Norman Lear produced show. You know the Jeffersons. Well, we're moving on up. You know that shit. There's an episode where George was asked to join some group. You know, the Willises down the hall, that the Willis guy, the white guy with the black wife, and him and George were real close. And Tom wanted to join his group. He had met these white guys at the bar, and he thought that they were talking about a men's group where they talk about men things. Turns out it was a group that was from the Klan in New York, trying to start some shit in New York. Anyway, long story short, they go to the meeting almost at the end of the show, and they get into an argument talking about race. And no, this is Klan, and and George goes back and forth with the guy, and the guy has a heart attack. Early on in the episode, George Jefferson had learned how to do CPR from his wife, or from something had happened where they learned how to do CPR earlier in the episode. Well, the father was dying, and the kid was like, somebody please help my father. He's George, the only black guy there that knew CPR. And at first he hesitated. He wasn't going to help the man. But just to show he had a moral compass, he said, oh, get out of the way. And he goes over there and he brings the man back to life. They cut the scene, and then it goes to, what's up, Ned? What's going on? Come get some from the stove. That's my nephew, Negus Freeman. What's up with your boy? And so George brought him back to life. And at the end of the episode, when the gentleman was being tended to by paramedics who had now shown up in a new scene, the boys, the guy who was dying, the Klansman's son, who was just as racist as he was, swallowed his pride and walked up to George Jefferson and said, man, I want to thank you for saving my life. I ain't do it for you. I did it because the man was dying. George was still pissed off. So as they're wheeling the guy out, he says something to his son. He says something about, blah, blah, blah. Dad, how are you? Blah. He says, I'm all right. And he says, who saved me? Mr. Jefferson right there. He saved you. He looks at Mr. Jefferson while he's on the gurney being wheeled out. And he said, did he saved me? And he said, yeah, Dad. He paused for a minute. And then he says, you should have let me die. That's how serious. And they had that on a TV show on CBS back in the 80s for everyone to see, just to prove and show how deep racism can be and people's prejudice can be, to where they will work against themselves in order to feel the way they do about you. That kind of shit you can't control. You can't control how people think. But if you have a government that talks really, that everybody in the government is like, fuck this shit, man, we got to work together. This shit ain't going to work. Whether they racist, Republicans, or left wingers, whatever. And I think both sides are full of shit, Democrats and Republicans. All of them can eat a dick. But if they were to flip the switch and say, look, man, we got to get over this bullshit, this racist shit. This country's a melting pot. Everybody's, it's mixed up. And you see the commercials with, white guys and black women and Asians and whites, and everybody's interracial on these commercials. You see it. That's this country. And that's the reason why everybody's all scared and shit, because they think they're losing their purity. That's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. And we've been this way forever. The world has been this way forever. When you start to separate people by color, when, Europeans used to hate each other, they war against each other, and then they finally decided to say, fuck that, we're white, we're better. We need to stop doing that to each other. We're white, the white race. Whenever you start labeling shit like that, that's when this bullshit happens. We're all human fucking beings, man. That's all we are. And we're on a small ass planet. This place ain't that big. This place not that big. We got to share this bitch. I know we don't live in every corner of the globe, but this place is not that big. There's only so many places that's habitable. If you notice, humans like to live near the coast. There's a lot of people who do live in the interior of America, but most of our population is consistent with coastal states, California, New York, and all the East Coast, West Coast. That's where concentrated, that's where all our people are. We like to live near the water. With that said, we're all on top of each other, and races don't like each other. It makes no fucking sense. And it's going to be the demise of not only this country, but it's going to be the demise of the fucking world. We won't get this shit together. And I believe it never will be gotten together, because it's all been said that it would never be together. There will always be prejudice. There will always be a fucking asshole that don't like you because you skink, all that. It will always be that shit. So I don't know where we're going to end up when it comes to that, but it will always be that. Hey, shout out to everybody that's on the live today, from Negus Freeman to Pam King, that's I always say, if you can come to the Corner Store podcast, please tell other motherfuckers to get down with your boy. Like, share, and comment, and please hit that subscribe button so you know when your boy is on, and you can come holler at me just like my boy Neg said. Come get something from the store. With that said, I'm probably gonna have to roll up out of here, y'all, because basically, if I keep talking about this stuff, all it's gonna do is depress me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm more jovial than I've ever been these last few months and years. So with that said, I love y'all to death. Love you. Don't play yourself to the left. Always keep it a band and be the woman or the man you're supposed to be. You did? That's real talk. And that's food for thought. Love y'all. Check this episode out and all the rest of the episodes on the KSP right here on YouTube, on my channel. Check out some of the shorts that I've been making lately. Some people have been really tripping off of the things I've been saying and making little comments, which I love. Engagement is what it is. And I appreciate y'all. Show me some love. Hit that like button. Give me a comment. And always, as usual, come get something from the store. It's your boy.